You wake up with a strange thought, not panic, not fear, but a quiet calculation that appears before the day even begins. You earn well, very well. Your income is strong, your reputation is solid, and your calendar is already full before your feet touch the floor. From the outside, your life looks stable and successful, the kind of stability people assume comes with money, titles, and years of effort. But stability is not how it feels from the inside. There is a constant background tension, a subtle awareness that everything depends on continuity, not today, not tomorrow, but on interruption. One missed paycheck, one unexpected pause, one forced stop, and suddenly everything feels fragile in a way you don't talk about. You don't say this out loud, not to colleagues, not at dinner, not even to yourself, because high earners are supposed to feel safe. Late at night, when the noise drops and the performance stops, the question returns. How long could I actually last if the income stopped? Not in theory, not in spreadsheets, but in real life, with real bills, real obligations, and real pressure. For people earning less, this fear is expected. For high earners, it feels like a flaw, like a personal failure. It isn't. This pressure doesn't come from weakness or irresponsibility. It comes from design, from a financial structure built around a single point of failure. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down why so many high earners are far closer to collapse than they realize, not because they spend recklessly, but because everything they built depends on one stream staying alive. And once you see that structure clearly, you'll understand why earning more often makes the fall harder, not safer. Let's dismantle the most dangerous lie high earners were taught, the idea that earning more automatically creates safety, stability, and freedom. You did everything right by the book. You studied, specialized, built rare skills, and entered the market prepared to perform at a high level. The market rewarded you. Your income grew from 5 figures to 6, maybe even 7, and with every increase, your lifestyle quietly followed. This is what society calls winning: higher income, better options, more comfort, and visible progress that looks impressive from the outside. But here is the contradiction no one explains. The more you earn, the more fragile your entire financial ecosystem becomes. High income doesn't create resilience by default. It often removes redundancy. Take a moment and think about your life as it exists right now. If your income stopped completely tomorrow, how long could your current reality continue without collapsing? Not hypothetically, not emotionally, but structurally. 3 months? 6 months? Maybe less. This is the paradox of the high-income trap. You generate a large amount of cash flow, but you operate with zero margin for interruption. You've built a powerful financial engine that requires premium fuel every single month just to keep running at idle. This isn't progress, it's compression. You traded flexibility for luxury, margin for status, and optionality for appearance. And the cost of that trade shows up as constant pressure. That tension you feel isn't imposter syndrome or anxiety. It's your subconscious recognizing that your entire life depends on one stream staying alive. Everything relies on continuity. Everything depends on you showing up, performing, and delivering without pause. You are the server that can never go offline. And when an entire system rests on a single pillar, that isn't stability. That's fragility, disguised as success. Why does this keep happening to smart, analytical, highly capable professionals, people who understand systems, performance, and optimization better than most? It's not because you're careless with money. It's because the financial system you operate inside is designed as a flow-through mechanism, not a storage mechanism. Your income does not arrive as freedom or optionality. It arrives already assigned, routed, and fragmented before you ever make a conscious decision. Before you log into your bank app, the system has already made choices for you: taxes, Housing, insurance, debt, subscriptions, and lifestyle commitments quietly take their positions. As a high earner, you experience this more aggressively. Employment income is the most visible, predictable, and heavily taxed form of money in the system. You are taxed on the seed, not the harvest. Before capital has ever a chance to compound, a significant portion is removed. Then comes housing, not just as shelter, but as an entry fee into a specific social and professional tier that reinforces the image you're expected to maintain. After that, the lifestyle infrastructure locks in place. The lease, the premium insurance, the private services, the conveniences you pay for because your time is already exhausted. Your income flows in like a wide, powerful river, but the riverbed is full of engineered exits, channels, and leaks that quietly drain it away. Nothing feels dramatic. Nothing feels irresponsible. The system doesn't break. It works exactly as intended. You become an efficient economic conduit. You generate value at work, convert it into income, and immediately redistribute it back into the system through obligations. You are productive, reliable, and consistent, but you are not accumulating. Your brain doesn't register this as loss. The money buys comfort, convenience, and relief from friction. But comfort is the anesthetic. It numbs awareness just enough to keep you moving forward without questioning the structure beneath your feet. And when you can't see the system clearly, you assume the pressure you feel is personal. It isn't. It's architectural. Let's make this concrete by looking at a real-world archetype, not an outlier, not a cautionary tale, but a profile that exists everywhere at the top of the income ladder. We'll call him Alex. Alex is 38 years old, a senior leader in his field, earning $350,000 a year. By every visible metric, Alex has made it. Strong income, respected title, stable career, and a lifestyle that signals success to everyone around him. Alex is not reckless with money. He doesn't gamble, chase trends, or buy status toys for attention. He is responsible. He maxes out his retirement accounts, pays his bills on autopilot, and believes he is doing exactly what a high performer is supposed to do. Now, let's audit the engineering of Alex's life, not emotionally, but structurally. His mortgage absorbs $8,000 a month, not because he overspent, but because that is the cost of living in the environment his career expects. 2 cars, insurance, and maintenance consume another $2,500, reliable, safe, and appropriate for his position. His children's education and activities require $4,000 a month, not optional, not extravagant, just normal at this level. Dining, networking, and social obligations average $3,000 because relationships are part of the job. Travel, recovery, and occasional escape from pressure add another $2,000 because burnout is expensive. After taxes, Alex is barely breaking even. From the outside, Alex walks into a room wearing a tailored suit and projecting confidence. From the inside, he knows he cannot afford a bad quarter. He cannot pause, step away, or take a sabbatical, not because he lacks ambition, but because the structure has no margin. Alex is running a corporation called Alex's Life. That corporation has impressive revenue, massive overhead, and a profit margin so thin it disappears under stress. If Alex were a publicly traded company, Wall Street would short the stock immediately, not because revenue is weak, but because there is no room for error. Alex doesn't feel poor. He feels important, busy, and necessary. Structurally, however, he is in the same position as someone living paycheck to paycheck. The numbers are larger, but the dynamics are identical. One disruption, one interruption, one forced stop, and the system begins to fail.
So, how do you reverse this structure without blowing up your life? How do you move from high-income fragility to actual financial resilience? The answer is not a shortcut. It's a system reboot. The first phase is the audit, not an emotional review, but a cold structural one. Stop looking at how much you make. Start looking at how much it costs to exist as you are right now. Your burn rate is the only number that matters at this stage. It defines how dependent you are on continuity. Once you see that number clearly, the illusion fades. You realize how little disruption your system can tolerate. The second phase is the cap. This is where most people fail. You must artificially freeze your lifestyle. The next raise, bonus, or income increase does not upgrade your life. That additional money is not spending power. It is sovereignty capital. You treat it as untouchable, invisible, and non-negotiable. It never enters the consumption loop. The third phase is architecture. You begin redirecting capital away from liabilities that demand maintenance and toward assets that function independently. This is not about chasing returns, it's about building buffers. Buffers absorb shock. Buffers create optionality. Buffers give you time. Over time, this structure leads to the crossover point, the moment when your asset-generated income exceeds your monthly burn rate. When that happens, the system flips. You may keep working, you may keep earning, but the pressure changes instantly. At this point, the barrier is no longer financial. The numbers are simple, and the mechanics are already clear. The real resistance lives somewhere deeper, in identity, ego, and social positioning. For years, you have built your sense of worth around being a high earner, someone who provides, performs, and visibly succeeds. Your lifestyle is not just consumption, it is a signal, a narrative, a story you and others tell about who you are. Breaking free from this structure requires something uncomfortable, the willingness to let that story change. You may need to look less successful in the short term to become truly secure in the long term. You may drive the older car while your assets grow quietly in the background. You may live below your peers while your financial foundation strengthens. This feels wrong because society rewards display, not accumulation. The system wants you visible, predictable, and consuming. It benefits when success is loud and fragile. True wealth behaves differently. It is quiet, patient, and largely invisible. It does not seek validation, it seeks autonomy. To escape the trap, you must be willing to release the identity of the operator, the person whose value comes from constant output. In its place, you adopt the identity of the architect, someone who designs systems that function without continuous presence. This shift is not about deprivation, it is about alignment. When your identity matches your structure, the internal pressure disappears. And when the pressure disappears, clarity returns. There is a quiet truth that very few people ever articulate. You don't escape financial pressure by running faster inside the system that created it. You escape by stepping back, seeing the structure clearly, and redesigning it. Most high earners believe their problem is income. In reality, income is simply the fuel being poured into a fragile machine. When the structure is wrong, more fuel increases the risk, not the safety. The people who break free are not luckier, smarter, or more aggressive. They simply stopped confusing comfort with security. They understood that stability is not about how much you earn, but about how long you can function without earning. They stopped building lives that require constant performance and started building systems that create margin, buffers, and choice. A high salary is a powerful tool. Used correctly, it can accelerate freedom, but used blindly, it becomes a liability that sharpens the fall. This channel exists for one reason, to help you see the system clearly, without hype, without fear, and without shortcuts. We don't talk about motivation, we talk about architecture. We don't sell dreams, we explain mechanics. If you are tired of the pressure, tired of the invisible fragility, and tired of feeling one interruption away from collapse, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to the channel. Each video is designed to help you move from dependency to structure, from noise to clarity,
and from performance to sovereignty. Welcome to the architecture of freedom.